I just bought 2 tacos with a loan. Not a bank loan, not my credit card. An app split my $6 order into 4 interest-free payments of $1.50 each. Feels like nothing, right? But stack that same move on your coffee, your sneakers, your concert tickets, and your rent, and suddenly you're carrying 15 tiny loans at once, all due on different days, all invisible until they're not. So here's the real question. What happens when people stop paying these back? Does the company go under? Does your credit score take the hit? Or is this just quietly reshaping how an entire generation thinks about money? Because this video isn't about tacos. It's about how you got talked into borrowing money without ever feeling like you borrowed anything. Buy now, pay later has exploded over the last 5 years, and we are nowhere near the peak. Right now, close to 1 in 5 Americans has used a Pay in 4 app, and almost 1 in 4 of those users missed a payment in the last 12 months alone. Here's the part that should actually worry you. The younger you are, the worse those numbers get. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, you are statistically the most likely person watching this video to already be juggling more than one of these loans right now. So let's talk about why that is. Because the mistake most people make isn't stupidity. It's a very specific psychological trick that's been refined for decades. The mistake is thinking these loans aren't real debt because they don't feel like debt. A credit card is what's called a revolving line of credit. Think of it like a bar tab. You keep ordering, the tab keeps growing, and at the end of the night, you settle the whole thing at once. Or you carry a balance and get charged for the privilege. Buy now, pay later works completely differently, and that difference is exactly what makes it dangerous. Every single purchase becomes its own separate mini loan, on its own separate schedule, due on its own separate date. You don't feel like you're stacking debt because each purchase feels like a clean, closed transaction. Buy the shoes, 4 easy payments, done. Buy the concert tickets, 4 easy payments, done. Except none of them are actually done. And none of them are talking to each other in your head, even though your bank account has to deal with all of them at the same time. Here's how people actually get trapped, and it starts long before the app even exists. Retailers have spent almost a century trying to solve one problem. How do you make a purchase feel painless? Cash creates instant pain because you physically watch money disappear. Checks softened that pain slightly. Credit cards softened it even further because swiping a piece of plastic doesn't visually register the same way as handing over bills. But credit cards still have one flaw for retailers. The final total shows up on a screen at checkout, and seeing $180 in one lump sum still triggers hesitation. Buy now, pay later solves that last problem completely. Instead of seeing $180, you see 4 payments of $45, and your brain does something strange. It doesn't calculate the total. It calculates only the number in front of you, and $45 feels like almost nothing. Studies on this exact behavior show people consistently spend more money when a purchase is split into installments compared to paying the full price up front. And more than half of people using these apps admit they're using them specifically to buy things they otherwise couldn't afford right now. That's not a coincidence. That's the entire design. So what actually happens once you're a few loans deep? This is where the real problems start showing up, and most people don't see them coming until it's too late. First, the math stops working in your favor almost immediately. Missing even one payment on these loans has climbed to roughly 2 out of every 5 users in the most recent year of data, a jump of nearly 10 percentage points from the year before. That's not a small drift, that's an acceleration. Second, and this is the part almost nobody talks about, these loans can actively hurt your credit score even when you pay them off perfectly. 15% of your credit score is based on the length of your credit history, meaning older, long-standing accounts help you. But buy now, pay later loans are built to open and close fast. You pay it off, the account disappears from your file, and it never contributes to that long-term credit history the way a credit card or a car loan would. So plenty of people are diligently paying these off on time and wondering why their score barely moves. Third, because each purchase is its own separate loan, You can end up with 10, 15, even 20 of these active at once, each pulling a different amount out of your account on a different day of the month. You don't need one big bill to blow up your budget anymore. You just need 5 small ones to land in the same week you already have rent due. Now here's the uncomfortable part. These companies aren't actually banks, which means they can't lend money the way a bank does. They borrow it from investors and capital providers, promising a return, and then they lend it out to you through the app. But every time they set up one of these loans, they eat an origination cost. And some of the biggest names in this space are reportedly losing money on a meaningful share of every single loan they issue. So how do they stay alive? By getting you to hold money with them directly instead of just borrowing through them, often through a debit card or a cash account tied to the app, and by quietly rolling out interest-bearing options that can run well past 30% for anyone who wants to stretch payments out longer. The free version is the hook. The paid version is the business model. So does this mean the whole system is about to collapse? Not exactly. The entire buy now, pay later market is worth well over $100 billion, which sounds massive until you compare it to total household debt in this country, which sits in the trillions. Even if every single one of these loans went bad tomorrow, it wouldn't trigger a financial crisis the way the housing market did in 2008, because housing debt alone makes up the overwhelming majority of that total household debt tower. This isn't a story about the economy collapsing. It's a story about your personal finances quietly eroding $1.50 payment at a time. And that's a problem you can actually control, starting today. Here's the solution, and it's simpler than you'd expect. Step 1. Write down every single Pay in 4 loan you currently have open, the amount and the due date, in one place, whether that's a notes app or a budgeting app that syncs your accounts automatically. You cannot manage debt you can't see all at once. Step 2. Treat every buy now, pay later purchase as a real loan before you click confirm, not after. Ask yourself if you'd still buy this thing if you had to pay the full price today in one shot. If the answer is no, that's your answer. Step 3. Never run more than one active plan at a time. If you already have a payment schedule running, the next purchase waits until that one is closed out completely. Step 4. If you're already stacked with several of these, pay off the smallest balance first to close accounts and simplify your monthly cash flow. Then roll that payment amount into the next one, the same snowball method that works for any other debt. And step 5. If a retailer offers this option on something like rent, which is genuinely happening now, that's your clearest signal to walk away. Because a payment plan on a payment you already agreed to make monthly is not a deal. It's a trap wearing a friendly name. Here's the lesson to actually take with you. Buy now, pay later isn't free, and it was never designed for your benefit. It was designed to remove the moment of hesitation that used to protect you from overspending. And it's working exactly as intended on millions of people who think they're being smart with their money. The fix isn't to never use these apps again. It's to stop letting the interface decide how much debt feels acceptable. Every $1.50 payment is still a loan. Every stacked plan is still debt. And the sooner you start treating it that way, the sooner you take control back from an algorithm that was built to take it from you. If this helped you see these apps differently, subscribe. Because next week, I'm breaking down the hidden bank fees draining your account without you even noticing. And that one might make you even more angry than this one did.